All right, good morning. This doesn't sound so good to me. I don't have the Bluetooth headset. Earphones, the new one's enabled, and I'm recording supposedly through the headset, but the headset's also isolating me from my own voice. So I hope the sound quality is good. I'm using the USB cable instead of the Bluetooth on the headset. That's much better audio quality, but I need a little bit more feedback. Is this what makes a difference? Or should I go back to the old Autophon rather than the Phonak hearing aids? It just seemed like the Autophons actually allowed me to hear better while I was recording. But I like the sound of the Autophons quite a bit. So I don't know what to call this video this morning. I don't know whether to call it Trump's boondoggle or Trump's folly. But whichever one it is, it's really just a continuation of the old slavery system. So what Trump is proposing is the Golden Dome, which is physically impossible. The engineer who was head of the Department of Defense one time, the only engineer, gave a presentation a long time ago about our success rate in knocking stuff out of the sky. And our success rate was 0.15 to 0.17. That was it. It wasn't even 0.2. And when you have nuclear weapons involved, that's not good enough. That means the vast majority make it through. But Trump is continuing the same enslavement that we've been going through for decades. Nothing's changed. So at this point, we have a new boondoggle to throw money at. The CIA gave us the Cold War, which we didn't need. But the communists in the State Department also armed up the Russians with nuclear weapons, which we certainly didn't need. So we're living in a very weird society. I wouldn't even say it's a civilization at this point. It is a culture, but it's not very civil. And we have what I call Trump Messianic syndrome. Not calling it Messianic complex because that would imply that he has the Messianic complex. I don't think he has a Messianic complex. Yes, he's got an ego, fairly narcissistic, but he's controlled. He's totally surrounded by bad guys and controlled by them. And they're busy telling him, yeah, we can bomb this country into oblivion and it's not going to cost us anything. Are you kidding? Trump is not going to start the war with Iran. Israel is going to. But I'll be frank, if Israel starts the war with Iran, we should go against Israel. Now, I don't really care much for the Iranians, but the Iranians I've met have always been very straight ahead, forthright people. So even the women were pretty strong at that. So I don't see any kind of a problem allowing them to exist the way they want. And as far as this, they can't enrich uranium and they can't have a nuclear bomb, we have a law that says you cannot give foreign aid to a country that's not abiding by the Nuclear Proliferation Treaty, which means Israel. So we've been criminally supplying Israel with money for decades. I think we actually gave them the nuclear bombs, not just the fissionable material. The evidence is very clear that out of Hanford Refinery, 1,000 pounds of fissionable material went missing about the same time as the USS Liberty. You can bet that stuff ended up over in Israel. So why not tell Israel, give up your nukes? Because it makes the whole world unstable. They really can't defend. They're not able to defend. Once a country decides they're going to go after them, that's it. It's too small. It's too narrow. It's too easy to take them out. The sad thing is that Trump right now is responsible for the ongoing genocides. And Trump got rid of the intermediate missile treaty that we had that made this world safer. It's more dangerous now. It's more dangerous now because, oh man, I don't like T-Mobile very much. Your server timed out on you. man, it's always shutting down on me. And I don't like it because getting the connection established again sometimes requires shutting everything out down and restarting it. It's not very good service. And they lie about the rates they're going to charge. But the worst thing about it is that T-Mobile makes more money spying on us than what we pay them. And so T-Money's making money off of us. I don't think it's a fair thing. I think we should have privacy. But that's our government for us. They decided we couldn't have privacy for our own good. So we live in a really weird time. So Trump is continuing the war that Biden continued, and he's continuing the war that Netanyahu has started. He hasn't stopped anything. And he's trying to pretend that he's distancing himself from Bibi Netanyahu because he's afraid that Bibi makes it look like he is, as he is, controlled by Bibi. So Bibi Netanyahu's the real president. He's the only one that gets 45 standing ovations when he goes before a joint session of Congress and the Senate. Man, those SEALs can't wait to jump on their feet and clap for every stupid thing out of his mouth. That's how occupied the country is. And there's no hope to getting it back. At this point, our greatest hope is to crash this economy, to crash it and make sure the elite go underground and stay there. We need to learn how to be nicer to one another. I don't think it's that hard, but America is not to be trusted. We break every treaty. We undermine all of our friends, not just our enemies. We've done so much stuff, but here's the problem. I saw a video of Charles Manson the other day. Manson did not look crazy, and Manson gave his presentation. And the gist of it was that World War II never ended, and that the Jews are keeping it going. Well, he's not quite right. The Zionists are keeping it going. They are the only ones that won and prevailed in World War II, and they haven't stopped it. They've kept all of these psyops against our people, and they keep doing stuff to harm Americans, and they keep up their biological warfare on us. Some of that is through their medical monopoly system. Other parts of that are through all kinds of stuff. Their waterworks, through whatever Air Force it is that's overspraying us with all kinds of crap. And then they've got their weather control, weather warfare system, which people are starting to wake up to finally. So I think that we have insanity at the helm, and I'm not referring to Mr. Trump as much as the people that are calling the shots, the people that are running his ass off in the background. That includes Miriam Adelson, Sheldon Adelson's widow, and that includes all of the Edomites that he's appointed at the direction of Miriam Adelson and the direction of those Edomites who control Washington, D.C. So I don't think that we're going to be able to. I think the country is gone. I don't think there's any getting it back. I think at this point that it comes apart completely. I do believe that we're going to see World War III, which I don't know which one we're in, 2 or 3 right now. But I think we're going to see nuclear worldwide war. Trump is going to force it. Bibi Netanyahu is going to force it. He would rather force nuclear war on America and Russia or nuclear war in China than to have to step down and risk a trial in which he might go to prison. He's a desperate man, so he's going to be doing something desperate. We're going to be seeing a false flag in very short order. They are going to devalue the currency. They're not going to try to crash it. They're going to try to avoid that. But the problem is, at any time that China wants to attack our grid, or our own DOD wants to take our grid down, which is the most likely thing that will happen, in my opinion, or if North Korea decides it wants to explode a couple of EMPs up there and take us down, we are vulnerable. And these other countries they've been treated so badly for so long, they don't care. Look at the Houthi. They don't care. You want to fight them? Fine. Trump didn't back off because they capitulated. Trump capitulated because they were kicking his ass. They burned through so many weapons in 1 month that they're embarrassed. $1 billion alone in aircraft. That's right. And I think a few $1 billion in weapons. I mean, I think that Trump wasted 10 to 12 billion on going after the Houthi. And the idea that you're just going to walk in and say, well, we're going to bomb them to smithereens. We're going to bomb them to kingdom come. We're going to bomb them back to the Stone Ages. Well, the Houthis actually have got a backbone, and they've got their manhood, and they're going to stand. And that's all there is to it. And Iran will stand. And Yahweh's going to make a way for them to succeed. Yahweh is going to be backing them. We are the evil empire. And as I've told you, we have Trump Messianic syndrome. So we can't even talk among ourselves and discuss the better outcomes. We can't even discuss, much less to come to any conclusion. Nobody's willing to listen to anybody else. They want to brand them as, I believe differently, without even having a discussion. So because we cannot discuss things, we're not going to be coming together. And the dumbasses that don't want to listen and don't want to have an exchange of truthful, factual knowledge, well, you're going to get your comeuppance. The whole country is gone, and it's going to go down. And Trump's boondoggle, the Golden Dome, it's a physical impossibility. It's not going to happen. It's a waste of money. It just feeds the military-industrial complex even more. It's not fair to the American people. It's not fair to the people around the world. We gave up the intermediate, whatever it was, missile treaty. Trump did that. No other president did that. Trump gave that up. He made it a more dangerous world. And he pretends that he has nothing to do with the stuff in the Ukraine. He built that military up. Oh, well. And he's trying to blame the war on Biden or on Putin. No, and he's trying to pretend that he's not a belligerent in this in this war. He's trying to pretend that he's going to be the peacemaker, and he's not a peacemaker. They're lying through their teeth. That guy that he has acting as if he was Secretary of State, man, Marco Rubio looks pretty good right now. He's doing a good job. I mean, he's still a very young-looking man, and he's got the right responses, and he's quick, he's sharp on his feet. And of course, I would have to say that, like most gay men, his responses are sharp, intelligent, and well thought out, and well composed. But we got this young jackass walking around saying, oh, we can't have them enriching uranium. Hell, they've been doing it. They've already got it. And you want to march that back? You can't do it. And Trump thinks that the Air Force can bomb that country into submission. I got news for you. If Trump starts going after bombing Iran, stuff is going to be happening everywhere. They're not going to let us slide this time. They've already got cells over here. The Iraqis sent people over here a long time ago. The Muslims have jihadists here waiting to be activated. Could take years. I don't know. Do you think they've been mainstreamed in? You think they gave up their Islamic faith? I don't think so. Do you think they'll be activated? 50-50 chance. And all it takes is a few of them, and there's a whole bunch here. But we are dumbasses. We are the United Stupid States of America. We think that we can throw our weight around, and it's okay for us to throw our weight around. No, it's not. We have acted unethically and immorally, and we have committed war crimes. So much manipulation is going on that it's really hard to say where it starts and ends. It's really hard. It's like everybody's hands are dirty. The United States of America is the biggest criminal enterprise ever in existence. The whole government is corrupt. It's nothing but a bunch of corporations ripping the people off. That's all we have going on. And all of your senators and congressmen, that's what they have been doing and want to continue doing. We allowed the structure to be changed. We allowed alterations. And our founders were very wise in the balance they gave us. So, senators should not be elected directly by the people. And I know some of you dumbasses out there say, well, we need to be able to elect them. No, you don't. You need to be able to elect your state legislators. And then your state legislators from your state government pick two among themselves to send to D.C. to be senators to represent the state government subject to instant recall. If they don't vote the way the state wants, the state fires them and calls them back. And then they go back and finish the term to which they were elected in the state legislature. But senators wanted to be elected perpetually, and Congress wanted to be professional and wanted to get paid, so they made a deal. And Congress shouldn't be getting paid. Congress should get no benefits. I'd say we give them the franking privilege and make those bastards sign the envelopes themselves. But Congress has been so corrupted, it's just not recoverable. All of these congressmen, well, I know there might be a handful, maybe even two handfuls that are okay or somewhat okay, but they rip the people off. They take their bribes, they take their payoffs, they take their stock tips that they get and the insider trading they're allowed to do, and they rip the rest of society off. They take advantage of those markets. That's theft. It should not be allowed, and we need to go after them for the last 100 years in which or more in which they've been doing that. The stock market is horrible. Everything is built upon debt. It's not a monetary system of wealth that's protected. We gave that up. We handed that right over to the enemies that hate us. And we have all of these wonderful senators and representatives and justices and presidents, and we have all these people that are in the bureaucracy that are enjoying the fruits of somebody else's labor. It goes beyond greed at this point. It's expected. You got to pay them off. You got to bribe them. Whoever has the most money when they go to court always prevails because of the way the courts do things. I used to think the people in the black robes were better than the rest of us. I thought that they were more moral and more honest and better educated, more intelligent, and more noble. It turns out that's not true at all. They're actually all crooks. All members of the bar are anti-American. They're all pro-British, British accreditation, regency. The king rules through his regents, the esquires of the Bar Association. That's why the 13th Amendment became the law of the land in 1812. And the South went to war against the North to defend the Constitution and the 13th Amendment. Why? Because Abraham Lincoln was a bar bastard. He was a member of the bar, and he represented the railroads. And they told, the southern states told the northern states, if you can't elect a bar bastard into the office of president, if you do, we're seceding from the Union. That's what the cause of the Civil War was. Oh, there's more to it. The Rothschilds were behind the scene, dividing up America, figuring out which countries and which banksters were going to take America over. But at this point, the banksters have succeeded. They own us lock, stock, and barrel, and they stole it all. So what are you going to do about it? I don't have much time left. I figure time is pretty precious. I will make some videos, but I also realize I can't have a conversation with the average man at large. Because the average man at large is a dumbass, and he's a narcissist, and he thinks that it's okay, whatever. He thinks that he knows better. And me, I already know I'm a dumbass. I already know I don't know much of anything. I know more than the average stupid American. But even the foundations upon which my knowledge are built are like quicksand. We have Trump deranged syndrome. Those people won't talk about Trump from a positive viewpoint no matter what. It is a rabid thing. And we have Trump Messianic syndrome. And those people worship Trump to the point where you can't engage in a conversation, a critical conversation about our policies and Trump's failure. I think he's a weak president, and I think he's failed. And I think the shot he took at the president of South Africa, while it had some merit, I think it was foolish. I think it was a bully using his big club on a little son of a bitch that was not very defensible. And I think embarrassing him in the White House like that, it's not good character, folks. I mean, this is a president of a nation. It's not good character to insult him like that. And I think that president down there, whatever hatred he harbors against white people, it got amplified by that. I don't know who's advising Trump and who's telling Trump to treat the president of South Africa like that. But everything that's in our media is a lie about South Africa, and they are genociding the whites as fast as they can. And I was amazed to see, I haven't seen a picture of that backpack with the cell phone blocking device. So whenever they go in, the military of South Africa goes in with the other blacks from whatever that radical party is that wants to kill all the whites, and they shut down all the cell phone communications. So if these people are isolated and nobody can come to their aid. And that is military hardware. Their military has it. So it is their government genociding the whites. And they talk openly about it, and that's okay. And it's really pretty sad when you have people here who are negative about the supposed discrimination of the whites against the regional inhabitants of South Africa. Now, Zimbabwe was a part that was inhabited by the blacks first, but the rest of South Africa, as near as I can tell, was not inhabited. It was a part of the lands that were spoken about in the Bible. We will go to a land that's never been inhabited and abide by our laws better there than we did in our home country of Israel. And a lot of us are talking about, let's take the Boers. Oh, but we can't do that because they're white people and that would be racist. Let's take the Boers. The Boers, I don't think, are going to be happy here because of our industrial farming, which they know is a bunch of poisons. They know, I hope they know better than we do. But the Boers might actually be able to come here and help us to recover the quality of our soils, help us to clean up our countryside. Heck. These people have jacked up the prices on a supplement because the federal government doesn't want us to have it because it's actually good for us. And it's available only by prescription. And it's expensive. And the moment you mention insurance, the price goes from currently over the counter at $195 for a 90-day supply. It goes up to $695 or more because the government gets involved and they don't want us to have it. So when I tell you that your government is your enemy, I really mean that. They don't want us to have NAC at all. And they don't want us to have a good form of it at all. And I know the markup. I know what it costs. It costs more to make that plastic bottle than it costs to make the pills. So they mark it up like several fold. In the vitamin business, they mark it up 20-fold in the health food store. That's the markup in the health food store. In the prescription business, the medical monopoly, they mark it up 10,000%. They mark it up a lot more, 100 times, compared to only 20 at the health food store. Trump Messianic syndrome, where you cannot have a critical conversation about any policy that involves Trump because they are offended and they won't engage you in that. So there's no way for America to talk. There's no way for America to come to a consensus because they have divided us to conquer us. And your FBI did that more than any other group. The FBI is no fucking good. No good at all, and cannot be reformed. Kash Patel, I'm hoping he'll admit that and vocalize that at some point, because I think I had the better idea. And the better idea was the moment I took the Oval Office, I was going to take the FBI into custody. All of them. I was going to put our military intelligence in charge in separate units, mind you, to do separate investigations, because I don't trust them very well either, because they're all part of the military-industrial complex. And I really think every FBI agent needs to be heard and needs to be sorted out. And if we find out that they've not been doing their job right, they need to lose their job. If we find out they've been committing crimes, then they need to go to prison. But the FBI protects the CIA, and the CIA protects the FBI. They murder for each other. Like the Mossad murders for the CIA, and the CIA murders for the Mossad. Man, they say there's no honor among thieves. Well, I'm not going to be playing that game. It's the only way not to play it. But you have to realize that when somebody's offering you something for nothing, it's going to cost you. You have to also realize when they're saying they can do this wonderful thing and protect you from every missile, every weapon, every rocket, everything, that it's a big lie. You got to remember, something on the order of 98% are going to be getting through. And you're going to spend how much? And you're going to throw your weight around so that you get those things thrown at you. So you get drones, cheap-ass drones and expensive intercontinental ballistic missiles. You're going to get that stuff thrown at you because you bullied other countries and you bombed them. And you think they're supposed to take it? Even the Vietnamese beat America. The Afghanis beat America. The Houthis kicked our asses. And Trump frames it up, they capitulated. What a lying sack of shit. The Houthis didn't capitulate. The Houthis didn't care. The Houthis started to target the big ships and the big planes and figuring out how to take them out. That's why he backed out, because he couldn't have an aircraft carrier at the bottom of the Red Sea. And the Houthis were going to do that. They had figured out when the ships are most vulnerable and how to set their asses up so they could sneak in there and sink one. I know it hasn't happened. Well, when it does, what are you going to do about it? Why don't you just realize you got to stop bullying people? And these systems that we have are antiquated, and we are never going to catch up with the Russian technology. They put us to sleep on purpose here, the media and everything, so Russia could beat us. Why? Because the Israelis want us nuked. They want to rule the world. They insist they're going to rule the world from Israel. And they have to destroy us to get us out of the way. Now, the Bible tells us about the three-headed eagle, and we know that the big head is Rome. And we also know that head disappears. And we also know the other two heads are the City of London, the banksters, the Rothschilds, and all the bankers across Europe and across the world, who are all say they're Jews and they're not, but they come out of one suburb of Babylon. Anyway, I'm losing my track of thought because I try to censor myself a little bit because I get worried and on edge about YouTube. But I'm trying to get the website rebuilt. We're going kind of slowly, a little slower than what I want. I'm trying to sell the old domain. Not doing too good on that. Really want to sell that. I need to cash that in so I can maintain things at this point. I realized that I did increase my standard of living, and I kind of had to. The rig that I had just wasn't adequate. This rig has to be gone through even more. It's cost me a huge amount more money than what it's worth. I know that. Yahweh will supply. I know that as well. I just wish I didn't have to stress quite so much, but I also realize that I'm in learning mode. Yahweh wants me to develop a backbone and stand up for myself. And I've done the best I could do, but you can only do so much because these people are liars and thieves. It's become a way of life in America. We used to be a good, fair, and noble people. We used to live up to our word. It's completely different today. If a guy can set you up and knock it down and take advantage of you, he does it. And they especially like doing that when there are third parties involved so they can bounce you off that stuff too. So I'm not very happy with that. And I am doing my best to stand up for myself. And I realize I need to have a war chest. I need to have some monies in the bank. And I need to be able to take care of all kinds of things because the nation's not right anymore. And you can't expect an honest deal from somebody. And it means you basically have to pay them off even more and more and be able to walk away, even though you know you've been cheated. What else can you do? All things come from Yahweh. All things go to Yahweh. Yahweh can correct the wrongs that have been done to me, against me. And more importantly, in my opinion, Yahweh can correct the wrongs I've done against other people. And that's what I'm hoping for. We are in a really dangerous world. Most of the world remains unexplored, by the way. I think at the most we might understand 15% of it. It's really pretty massive and pretty big. From what I can tell, it is huge. And we are locked in this small part of it. And that's the way it is. Now, all of these people that are in government have got their tickets to go underground in the underground cities and escape from the riots up on the surface, or the nuclear war that's on the surface, or the biological war, or the plague that's on the surface, or the food shortages and riots. They have planned for all this for a long time. They're not giving their plans up. Not at all. Trump is not his own man. So don't have Trump derangement syndrome and don't have Trump Messianic syndrome. He's no Messiah. He's following the orders he is given. And I think it's pretty sad that we have somebody in that office throwing his weight around so heavily. We didn't used to do that. We didn't need to do that. I consider it poor taste. And the idea that the Houthis have backed off, the Houthis have capitulated, that's a lie. The idea that you can build this golden dome, well, you certainly can put all the gold into building it, but it's not going to function. The system is too corrupt. They will short us somewhere. They will cut corners somewhere. They will fail us somewhere. Why? Because they actually want to destroy us. The only salvation, the only redemption, the only protection is through Yahweh. You've got to repent and you've got to cultivate the Holy Spirit. And you have to turn daily. I'm glad that I do that. And my daily prayers are, let's not have any accidents. Let's not even have near misses. Let's, when I have to make a decision and I'm interacting with somebody, guide me on that. Guide me so that I don't go off the rails, coming unglued because they're cheating me. Guide me so that I don't do something that undermines me further. And give me the wisdom so that I know how far I can go. And these people who are out there are busy ripping everybody off at this point. And that's the way the Phoenix area has become in particular. And right now they're pushing this cheap housing loan stuff because they're at the tail end of the housing bubble. And they're pushing that, and people are, oh my God, I can get into a house finally. No, yes, you can get into a house and you can lose your ass. That's what they've set us up for. They set up the boom bust cycle. They manipulate it all. There's no winning in this. It is rigged. Trump is right about that. It's all a rigged game. And the mortgage that you take out, mortgage till death, it's all a system of deceit. They take your promise to pay and turn it into their asset. Shouldn't it be your asset? Yes, it should be. But we have criminals who have been given a money monopoly. And we have criminals in the government and in the police and in the courts and in the White House and in Congress and in the Supreme Court. We have criminals who are willing to do what their masters dictate. That's the way it's going to stay until we collapse this government. And what do I mean by that? We have to stop feeding this beast system. We have to collapse it. And I would think we could collapse it bit by bit. And yes, it's going to be rough on some people, especially the people caught up who are losing their positions, their gravy train positions in the federal government. But they really are not providing a proper service to us. Certainly, none of our representatives represent us. They put the answering machines on so you can leave your opinion, but I can tell you this, they don't listen to it. They don't play it back. They don't even save it. Well, they might save it and turn it over to the National Security Organization or whatever it is. They turn it over so that we can be profiled and we can be categorized and we can be targeted. Sometimes it's a direct targeting. Most of the time it's an indirect targeting so that we just wonder, did somebody do that to us? Did somebody set me up? Who's behind this? How did this happen? How come it's always this bad luck? So I'm going to tell you, choose this day whom you will serve. I'm going to serve Yahweh with fear and trepidation. I know I'm supposed to have confidence, but I'm fearful because I do not understand the structure of this particular part of the universe. I think I got pretty close when I was younger. I used to count out the number of dimensions. I think I stopped at 11 or 13 back when I was about 23 years of age. 21, 23. We live in an amazing time. We are at the end of the earth age. And it's all pretty much encoded in the Bible. So we can read it and find out what's next. But it's also been a little bit twisted in there. And our seminary-trained pastors haven't helped us because, and the rabbis in particular haven't helped us because they tell us lies, falsehoods. The rabbis claim that they're the chosen people. They're not. They're actually descendants of Edom, of Esau. I'm a bit frustrated because Putin is hoodwinking the entire country and maybe even the entire world, but I don't think so. I think the only people that Putin that he's not able to pull the wool over is Putin's eyes and the rest of the world that's starting to align against us. The Chinese, the Russians, the Iranians, the North Koreans, the Syrians, these people that are trying to defend themselves against the encroachment of the Israelis. Trump is lying about the Golden Dome. It can't be effective. It can't even cut down half of the nuclear weapons that'll be coming in. And they don't want you to know that because they want you to throw the money at the boondoggle so they can keep this charade going a little longer. But I'm going to tell you, the sooner you go and buy yourself some silver dimes and silver quarters, the sooner you get yourself some silver in your hands, the sooner we can take this beast system down. And it is a silver bullet, and it is a silver lining, and it is putting the vampires, the predators to death. You need to understand that those giants and stuff, they're still on the earth. They're sequestered from us at this time. These different worlds are isolated. I think they each have got domes over them or maybe ice walls around them. No, I'm not making this stuff up. I'm telling you, I'm opening my mind to the possibility because they've lied to us about everything. And they keep lying and they won't stop. They have to be confronted. I would love to have myself a flying machine and take a ride over that ice wall because I'm pretty sure there's a big world beyond all that. And I'm pretty sure that we here on what we consider Earth are only a tiny little part of the surface of this amazingly huge planet, which we are not allowed to explore or much discuss. Look, I'm open-minded, and the Bible interprets itself. I have the best version of the Bible available for you today. Hit that drop-down box, hit that link below, and go to the page in the drop-down box and get yourself a copy. They are low. They are very low in supplies, and we're talking about getting reprints. So when you try to buy some of them, you're not going to find them there. And I can assure you, the next copies that come in are going to cost a lot more. Maybe even double what they're at now. So get yourself a Bible and get yourself a backup copy. Get the large print for your coffee table and your family Bible, and get yourself a smaller one that you can carry. I really like the print quality of the smaller leatherette Bible. Somebody had that forwarded to me for me to autograph it and sign it. I did that and forwarded it on to them. The publisher thought it was kind of strange and kind of weird, and I did too. But that's okay. I put my Yahweh bless scribbled in there as best I could. And I hadn't seen one of those. That was the first time I saw the smaller one. And I was like, man, this print is nice and sharp. It's comfortable in the lap. And I can read that with reading glasses. And now I have to use reading glasses on the large print. When I first got the large print Bible, I didn't have to use reading glasses for about 4 years. Now I have to use them. May Yahweh bless. Ask Yahweh what you can do for him today. And I know if it makes you, if it tickles your fancy, if it makes you laugh, so be it. But just remember that he's going to love hearing that offer from you. And he may intervene and say, hey, we got a better option for you here. Here's what you go with the Holy Spirit on this. This is what you do. That person over there, I want you to go talk with them. You look at them and say, are you kidding? They're kind of scary looking. I don't think they're going to want to talk with me. They believe completely differently. Take up the Holy Spirit on those little tests. Thereby, you build the Holy Spirit. That's how I did it. I mean, I still at times deny the spirits. Go talk to so and so. I'm like, nah, man, I don't want to talk to her. I don't want to get in trouble. And Yahweh does want us older folks in particular to talk with the younger folks. However, if they're not going to be respectful, back off. Do not put yourself in harm's way. They are all going to be in trouble. And when all stuff comes down, these youngsters are going to be turning to you, either accusing you of causing the problem or begging you for insight so that they can know how they too can live to a ripe old age. We are at the end of the earth age. We have 21 years and months, days left. And then she blows. The sun that's inside of our dome will be blowing. And that's all there is to it. Because the earth needs to be purified. It needs to be recycled. We have polluted it so much and made it so toxic and so deadly that it needs a Sabbath. May Yahweh bless.